I'm Bill with TANDEMKROSS, making good guns great. Kevin and Eric, our talented customer support and tech support employees, field dozens of phone calls from customers every day. And because of our close working quarters, I hear most of them. And it seems like a day rarely goes by without someone calling to ask Kevin what they should do about all the lead built up inside their Game Changer compensator. So, to save Kevin and you some time, I'm going to explain what you should do right now. The easiest way to clean your compensator is to not actually have to clean anything at all. Preventative maintenance is the absolute best thing you can do for any compensator. For this purpose, we recommend applying a thin layer of lubricant, like froglube paste for example, to the inside of the compensator before a day at the range. At the end of the day, wipe the lube out and all the grime and debris that would normally have built up inside the comp comes out with the lube. Some competitive shooters will wipe out and reapply lube to their compensator between every string at a competition. This certainly can't hurt, but for the average shooter, just once at the beginning of the day and wiping it out at the end of the day is probably enough. We also recommend shooting jacketed rounds because they produce less molten lead and thus involve less cleanup. But what if it's too late? What if preventative maintenance is not enough and you already have gunk built up inside your compensator? The first step is usually using a dental pick to scrape the buildup out. There is a risk of scratching off the finish on your compensator, so go slowly and carefully. Using solutions like Slip 2000 Carbon Killer on the buildup may help break it down and make it easier to chip off. Another method that many people recommend is an ultrasonic cleaner. It's a machine that shoots ultrasound waves through a tank full of solvent. If you put your compensator in the tank and run it for a few minutes, most of the buildup will come off, and the rest can usually be brushed or wiped out. They do work very well, but ultrasonic cleaners can be pretty pricey depending on the model, so it's not a method that everybody is going to want to invest in. Now, these last two methods work best for compensators with a relatively small amount of lead built up on them. But what do you do about a comp that has a ridiculous or even dangerous amount of lead built up inside it? Well, one method that you'll see many people suggest, even for relatively clean comps actually, is to submerge them in a combination of equal parts hydrogen peroxide and distilled white vinegar. This creates a compound called peracetic acid that will easily dissolve most of the lead buildup off the compensator, usually in a matter of hours, and won't damage the finish. Any remaining chunks should chip off easily with a pick. Here's the thing about this method. It does work well, but peracetic acid produces harmful fumes. According to the National Center for Biotechnology Information, peracetic acid is corrosive and irritating to the eyes, mucous membranes of the upper respiratory tract and skin, and can cause lacrimation, aka excessive crying, and extreme discomfort. Now, as long as you only combine just enough of the two ingredients to submerge your compensator in a container that can be covered while you let it soak, and do all of this in a well-ventilated area, the risks are minimal. But that's not the end of the risks, because combining peracetic acid with the molten lead built up inside your compensator creates lead acetate, which is also poisonous. Ingesting lead acetate will cause abdominal pain, vomiting, headache, and dizziness. And in high enough concentrations, it can cause kidney damage, reproductive damage, and even death. Now, hopefully you know better than to swallow it, but would your kids or your pets? And you have to be careful how you handle your compensator after treatment too, because lead acetate can be absorbed through the skin. Brief exposure may only cause local irritation and pain, but higher concentrations can cause some of the same symptoms as swallowing it. Plus, once you're finished, you can't just pour the leftovers down the drain or out in the backyard because it's so toxic. You really should call your local hazardous waste disposal company and ask them what to do with it. They may just be able to come pick it up, or they may have you, for example, evaporate the liquid portion, and then they'll be able to dispose of the solid portion more easily. All of this to say that, for as well as this method works, and it does work well, it's more complicated than it seems, and it's dangerous, so TANDEMKROSS does not recommend it. If your compensator really is that bad, just buy a new one. They really should be thought of as wearable parts anyway, so TANDEMKROSS does its best to keep costs down so that it's affordable for you to just replace it outright if it comes down to that. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions, be sure to let me know in the comments, and don't forget to click like and subscribe and the little bell icon next to the subscribe button so that you get notifications whenever we upload new content. You can also find us elsewhere on the internet like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And of course, you can find the Game Changer and Game Changer Pro compensators, plus a wide variety of products for a wide variety of firearms, at www.tandemkross.com. Till next time.